Now, the UN Security Council is expected to unanimously adopt a resolution Thursday calling for an end to violence in Burundi and threatening sanctions against anyone who stands in the way of the search for a peaceful solution. The move comes as diplomats in New York say the UN could rush peacekeepers into Burundi if calm does not return to the East African nation soon. Burundian officials are downplaying the unrest. Violence erupted in Burundi in April when President Pierre Nkurunziza announced that he was running for a third term, a move the opposition called unconstitutional. Mr. Nkurunziza was re-elected in July. In a vote, the opposition boycotted. Election-related violence has killed at least 240 people and sent tens of thousands fleeing across the border. The United States, European Union and Burundi's African neighbors fear the violence could result in another civil war between Tutsis and Hutus. Now, for more details and clarity on the Burundi crisis, VOA's Margaret Besheer joins us live from New York, the United Nations. Margaret, let's first start with the fact that there is a thought that the peacekeepers could be sent to Burundi. Is this something that we can look forward to?
Well, I don't think UN peacekeepers will go to Burundi unless the situation really escalates. But in that case, even they wouldn't probably be sent because peacekeepers need a peace to keep. They're not a rapid reaction force. So I think what is much more likely is that the African Union would send an East African force into Burundi if the situation continues to unravel. And the UN has said they're working with the AU to do contingency planning for such a potential deployment. But you know, it's very hard to get peacekeepers quickly anywhere in any situation. It takes usually at least 2, maybe 3 months because you have to get the troops, equip the troops, send the troops. It's not something that can be done quickly.
How about the other measures that are being discussed under that resolution?
Well, I think the point of this resolution is to intensify pressure on the stakeholders in Burundi, on the government and on the opposition, that they need to stop the inflammatory rhetoric, especially, and that they need to come to the table and discuss things in a civilized way, negotiations, and stop solving the problem in the street with the violence. So the Council is threatening sanctions, as they often do, and we have seen, for instance, in South Sudan, it can take the Council a very long time from threatening sanctions to actually implementing sanctions. But in this case, the African Union has gone ahead and said that they will impose sanctions, and oftentimes that can influence the Security Council to act. If they feel that the regional body has already said sanctions would be useful, then they may be more quick to impose them.
But also there are talks that there could be another round of talks in Kampala. What can you tell us about that?
Well, this morning, the UN, the African Union, and the European Union issued a statement saying they were calling for urgent talks between the opposition and the government in either Kampala or in Addis because they're extremely concerned about the escalating violence. So they said as soon as possible an urgent meeting, so maybe it could come in days. It just depends, I think, on how fast they can get the relevant parties to agree to come to talks. So maybe a resolution from the Security Council today that sends a unanimous, united message that they're very concerned and that they're willing to punish people who spoil the process. Perhaps that would have an impact in getting at least the parties to come to the table.
We'll be watching developments there. Margaret, thank you very much. VOA's UN correspondent Margaret Besheer reporting live from New York.